Ted Haggard was the right-wing evangelical minister. In fact, he was the head of them, who, of course, did what they all do, preach against gays and abstinence-only education and pro-life and the whole spiel, right? And then we found out, and he's a hardcore Republican, was. Then we found out that he's doing meth off a gay hooker's ass. Literally. Like, apparently they do the back massages, they do other things, and then they do meth. And I think he took meth off his ass at one point, if I'm not mistaken. But you know what? Let's say he just did the meth and the gay guy separately. Okay, give him the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, so he falls from grace, and of course, what does his church do? A quick, swift, but firm kick in the ass. Get scat! Right? And so they kick his ass out. All of a sudden, you don't have any money. And he's worried about his health insurance. So two things happened here that was interesting. One, Nancy Pelosi reached out to him. Now, politically, that's not a smart move. There's no need for it. But she apparently sent out a message to him to keep his head up several times and said, God is bigger than this. Now, I'm not a religious person, so one, I don't believe that. Two, I don't really quite know what it means. But three, I think it sounds kind of nice. And it seems like a human thing to do, a really nice thing to do. So he's like, well, when none of the Republicans were reaching out to me, and Nancy Pelosi, it wasn't totally out of the blue. Her daughter is doing a documentary on him. But she didn't have to do it. I mean, that's a politically dangerous thing to do. But she did, apparently on several occasions. So he says, she reaches out to me when none of the Republicans are. That's interesting. Turns out when you're down and out, there's only, one group of people who are on your side. But then it became a lot more real to him. Because he said he started worrying about his health insurance. And he has a kid that is challenged. And he needs to have that kid get treatment all the time. And he said, we went to the emergency room, and I'm not sure if my insurance is going to work. And I'm having a nervous breakdown thing over this. Now, forget my career, forget everything else. I got to take care of my kid. And it's at that moment that I realized, oh, this is why the Democrats create these programs that help people when they need it most. Of course! That was the whole point, of course! But you see, we talked about this in relationship to, of all people, Elizabeth Hasselbeck. From her whitey, richy rich perspective, she doesn't get it. And Ted Haggard didn't get it. He's like, yeah, I'm going to speak against that, and I'm going to speak against this, and I'm going to condemn, and I'm going to judge. But he didn't get that the reason that these social programs exist is if you need a hand up at a certain point in your life, and you're not super rich or you're not in a position of privilege, that's when they're there to help you. And he said, boy, man, that wound up being really helpful. And then I didn't have enough, I was concerned, I didn't have enough money where I was thinking, should I drive somewhere or should I walk? Because I don't want to waste the gas money. And he said, all these, one, the Democratic programs helped me. Two, they gave me a little bit of security in that I wasn't going to be destitute and my family wasn't going to go hungry. And he said, I began to have a little bit more open mind about the Democratic position. You don't say. So that's how it happens. When it finally happens to you, you go, oh, I get it. But before that, judgment, judgment, judgment. So, look, there's some of that comeuppance you have to enjoy, but I'm glad he at least saw the light.